Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 1 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got an update on a story we brought to you over the weekend of a man wielding two knives, walking up to a few Jacksonville area homes. Residents again are now thinking safety is at the front of their mind. According to the Carolina Forest Community Service Association's Facebook page, a masked man was approaching multiple homes Friday night into Saturday morning. On the video, the man looks to be wielding two knives as he gets to the door, but doesn't stay for long after the doorbell whistle seems to startle him. Ray Lane, who lives in the neighborhood but works at the Duplin County Sheriff's Office, says he tends to keep a close eye on things and agrees that it is unusual to see. He said, quote, "So normally at night I take the flashlight out, drive slow to look at the house and see if anyone's walking. You rarely see anybody out here walking. That's the first time for us, and that's a big concern," end quote. Now, Lindia Lane says the situation makes her glad to have surveillance, but that it is still worrisome. She said, quote, "So glad that we have cameras up, and I hope that they catch up soon, but he could be dangerous to anyone, especially the children that are out in their yards," end quote. Now, we spoke with Jacksonville police about the post, and they said that officers did handle a call for suspicious activity. Officials say there was a report taken and documented, but they are still in the early investigation stages into what exactly happened. Now, if you have any information or you know anyone with information, you can contact Jacksonville Police Department's non-emergency line. That is 910-938-7585. I also want to turn our attention to the Middle East, where the ongoing conflict between Hamas and Israel continues to roll on as many in Gaza continue to search for food and humanitarian aid. NBC's Matt Bradley has more from Tel Aviv.
Another appalling tragedy in the Gaza Strip. Just yesterday, at least 10 people were killed, 6 of them children, as they were waiting in line for water at a refugee camp in Nusayrat. It's just the latest attack that has killed civilians as they were waiting for aid, food, water, medicine, a problem that has really been taking on the dimensions of a daily attack and one that has been killing dozens of people per day. Health authorities in the Gaza Strip say hundreds of people have been killed ever since a new aid regime came into effect, backed by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which is an American and Israeli-backed independent humanitarian organization that has been widely criticized by the United Nations and other relief and advocacy groups. So far, a week of negotiations in Doha have really yielded nothing, even though there was a lot of optimism around these talks last week. Hamas official told NBC News that it looks as though this is the same issue that has vexed these talks for the past several months. Israel's insistence on not ending the war and withdrawing completely from the Gaza Strip until Hamas is totally destroyed and dismantled, whereas Hamas says it will release all of its remaining several dozen hostages, but only if Israel completely ends the fighting in the Gaza Strip. These two positions are entirely at odds with each other, and they are the same abiding problem that has really bedeviled these negotiations for the past several months, and the reason why we're not seeing anything done in the past week. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
Thank you very much, Matt, for that report. We now turn our attention to your weather forecast, and right now it's all sunshine across parts of the east. Other areas starting to see some rain. Starting to see a little rain early today. Right now, time on the clock 1:04, and we've got 87 degrees in Morehead City. Clouds off in the distance, certainly not spelling any trouble for now across the Intercoastal Waterway. South-southeasterly wind at 10 miles an hour comes with a 75-degree dew point that makes 87 degrees feel more like 96. Woohoo! It is toasty along the coast, but it's even hotter as you head a little bit further inland. Grifton right now 90 degrees, but it feels like 98 thanks to, again, that high humidity. And wind not providing any sort of relief. Right now, calm wind in Grifton. That's only going to make that humidity feel even stickier and hotter. Most of us right now generally in the upper 80s to low 90s. Over the next few hours, We will start to see, again, more of the rain come through, and that should cool us down a bit, but your feels like temperature right now essentially ranging between around 95 degrees all the way up to around 107 degrees. We're not only seeing it in Edenton, but seeing it as well in Swan Quarter. It is hot, it is humid, and in fact, we're only going to get more heat and humidity into eastern North Carolina by the tail end of the week. Now, coming up for tomorrow, there's going to be a weak cold front coming in. Now, currently winds very light, and usually the lighter the winds, the less concern you have of a strong sea breeze front really getting going. However, already starting to see some of those rain showers across mainland Dare County. Again, we had focused on that little spot shower, but you can see it has grown over the past 45-50 minutes to now include a hefty portion of mainland Dare County, but even extending down that line, also popping up some showers and storms over portions of Hyde County, northern Hyde County, a little bit closer to the lakes. Now, here's what we've got through the rest of the afternoon. A lot of those showers and storms will gradually fade as we head towards 8, 9, 10 p.m. tonight. But tomorrow morning, yet again, another round of some showers and storms happening a little bit earlier than what many would anticipate. Now, again, we're going to have a sea breeze front form early on in the day. That will then be complemented by another weak boundary rolling in late Tuesday evening, providing another opportunity for some spotty showers and thunderstorms. You can spot that front just by taking a look at the line of showers stretching from the Great Lakes all the way down towards Dallas, Texas. That frontal boundary will produce some severe storms for areas far to our north in the Chesapeake Bay area, but we are just a little bit too far south to really receive the big push of strong storms from that boundary. We'll essentially see a few thunderstorms and pop-up showers, but the opportunity again for any sort of severe weather really not there with this system. It's a fairly weak system for us, just not oriented in the right way, which of course is great news. Now here's a look at your full 8-day forecast. Again, increasing rain chances for both Tuesday and Wednesday, tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Then on Thursday, 94 degrees, only to be outdone on Friday by 95, which is only to be outdone on Saturday at 96. So a nice little march up the thermometer there. The mercury is going to end up quite high as we head into the weekend, but we are also going to be tracking high humidity that will make that heat feel even hotter. That's all we have time for today's 1 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day.